Welcome back to Broader Financial Future, aka BFF, when it comes to all your financial needs. Now, today I'm going to discuss 3 credit card tips everyone should know. You don't want to miss today's video, so stay tuned. And welcome back. Now, when it comes to credit cards, there's so much information out there that everyone should know, but I'm going to focus on 3 tips that I think are the most important when it comes to credit cards. Now, the first is actually one of my favorites. It's offers and reward. Now, I used to use cash for everything. I barely used my credit card. I thought cash was king. If I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't buy it. If I ran out of cash, that was it. That's how I operated. But that was a mistake. So 2 years ago, I decided to switch to using my credit card more by signing up to a credit card that offered cash back rewards. Now, every time I use my credit card, I get 1% back in cash back bonuses. In addition to every time I pay off my credit card, I get an additional 1%. So essentially, I get 2% back on everything that I buy. Now, this only works if you pay off everything at the end of the month. If you're not going to pay off your credit card at the end of the month, then it's not going to be worth it. But for me, it was important to find a credit card that I could use to, one, build up my credit, but in addition, get an reward for it. Because I'm going to end up spending money anyway, either to pay off bills, buy goods, and especially last year, a lot of people stopped offering, a lot of people wanted you to pay through credit cards. So I'm going to use a credit card anyway. Why not get paid for using it, right? So that's basically what happened. But there's so many different cards that offer different rewards. It's worth looking into what works best for you. For me, signing up for Citi Double Points was the best option for me because essentially every year I let that cash kind of build up and I take that cash out and I invest it into stocks. So I look at it as using my credit card points to get free stocks at the end of the year. Especially since I'm going to be buying these things anyway, paying off my bills, why not use that additional funds to kind of buy what I want? So if you're into travel, whatever it is, there's different type of cards out there for you. The goal is to find a card that offers rewards or bonus points that fits their lifestyle and needs. For me, I don't do much traveling, so it was more important to get the cash back that I can utilize for whatever I want, and I use that money to reinvest in stocks. So find what works best for you. Make sure you pay it off every month, and that will make sure it's more beneficial. So I'm also going to give 2 tips to kind of help with that as well, right? Because there's no point in trying to get a card with rewards and you're just stacking up with interest fees over interest fees. It just wouldn't be worth it. So another important tips are balance alerts. Now, this helps keep track of spending. So when I used to pay everything with cash, it was easier to keep track of everything, right? I had a certain amount of money. Once I was out of cash, I knew I hit my limit and I was basically broke, or at least hit the amount of money that I was going to spend during that period. But when it comes to credit card, there is no alerts. It's easy, especially in the beginning. When I started using my credit card for everything, it was easy to kind of get lost in how much you're actually spending because you're going out, you charge it. Charged here, charged there, charged everywhere. And compared to, like, say you have $100 in your wallet, when that $100 is gone, it's gone. But when it comes to the credit card, you only have your limit, and that limit is typically more than what you actually have sometimes. Or it could be what you have depending on how much money you have. Many credit card issuers, however, allow you to set up balance alerts. So this is a great way to keep track of your expenses, especially when you're going out a lot using your credit card. You want to know where you're at any given time. So notifications that let you know by email, text, or in-app messages that your balance is approaching a certain level that you set. So you can set up basically alerts through email, text, in-app messaging. That's a great way to make sure that you're not overspending what you don't actually have. And that way you can kind of stay within budget. You can set the alert, for example, when you approach like $100 or $200 or whatever that alert you want it to be. So it's important to kind of keep track of what you're actually spending, because you don't want to spend more than you actually have, and then you're going to have a problem really paying it off. So alerts is a great way to keep everything on point. Now, we talked about using your credit card to get points and different type of awards. 2, we talked about how using your credit card to make sure, setting up alerts to make sure that you're paying everything on time, making sure you're not going over your budget, whatever that may be. And 3, this is important to really kind of keep your credit score high, is mid-cycle payments. Now, this is something that I learned more recently, because I will pay my bill off every month, but I've noticed like some months my score will be higher, some months my score will be lower, and I realized this is actually one of the reasons why. So one way to potentially boost your credit score is to add a mid-cycle payment. So instead of paying your bills once a month, by adding a second or third payment in your cycle, it can help increase your credit score. Now, the reason is your credit card issuer reports your account information to the 3 major credit bureaus every month. Now, one key data point that gets reported is your balance, which is used to calculate your credit utilization ratio. Now, that ratio is the percentage of your available credit that you're currently using. So, for example, if you have a $5,000 credit limit and your balance is $1,000, then your utilization is 20%. So essentially, you have a $5,000 credit limit. You use $1,000. That's going to be 20% that you use. So credit utilization is a major factor in your credit scores. It's an element of amounts you owe, which accounts for 30% of your FICO score. In general, you want to keep your utilization under the 30%, but the lower the better. So if you let everything kind of pile up and you pay at the end of the month, depending on when they report that to your credit company, it can show that you're actually spending more than you actually have. So for example, if my credit limit was $1,000, I might have spent $400 or $500, and I wouldn't pay that back until the end of the month. But depending on when they report it to the credit bureaus, that utilization be like 40 to 50%. So that's why it's important to add like an additional billing cycle to your payment to kind of make sure that your utilization is under the 30%. So whatever your credit limit is, you want to find out what your credit limit is, and that way it will help you stay under your utilization rate. And another thing is, if your credit amount is not that high, you can actually, as you build your credit, increase your credit limit. Don't go over the credit amount, but you can increase your credit limit. That way, you're still spending the same amount. That will help decrease your utilization rate as well. So hopefully these tips can help you, 1, build your credit score, 2, stay within budget when it comes to your credit limits, and 3, get paid or get a reward for using a credit card. If you're going to use credit anyway, get a reward from it and find out what rewards works best for you. As you build your credit, you can get better offers, better rewards. The better your credit, the better rewards you can get from different credit card companies. So hopefully this helped everybody out there. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, everybody, have a good one. Peace.